Good morning. This is Lisa with the Widow's Treasure, and we will be working on loneliness again about the gift of widowhood, question mark. But first, let me just quickly share with you just something fun I've been doing. I'm reading through the Chronicles of Narnia. This is an old set that we've had for years. In fact, when my middle-aged children that are adults were children and I homeschooled, we read through all of these out loud, which that's what we did, even though I'm not a very good oral reader. But we read them out loud and it was fun. And I've been thinking about it for years. I need to reread them. Well, I've done it. I'm on the last book, having a great time. And if you notice up there as a bookmark is an Awana share, which my oldest son used when he was reading these books. My 42-year-old son, who now was at the time, elementary school. So it's sort of hilarious and really sweet, but really good allegories on Christianity, especially the first one. That's my favorite. I think the first and last are my most favorite. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then, of course, The Last Battle. So that is what that is. Okay, let me jump into this. Oh, and Esther, you want to say hi? No, she's asleep. Okay. And if you see, I've got a little something. She has a little something I've been working on. It was a big old scab, and I noticed it on the way to PetSmart when we got her shaved. And so the gal just sort of left it alone. And then I've been messing with it. And as it gets better with my little remedies, then I just trim away the hair so we can get it attended to. So it's healing very nicely. But anyway, that sort of looks gruesome, but that's what that is. She's fine. She fine and she warm. Oh, and this blanket I pulled out. Oh my goodness. It was a gift. Well, let me say it right. It's backwards. There we go. And oh boy. I have it, but that can sort of prick my heart with sadness. But it was a gift after Don died, in honor of Don. So there we go. I pull it out in the fall because we need blankets and it's fall color. All right, I said I wasn't going to talk much, and here I am. We're going to start with, I'm going to continue with the path of loneliness. I wasn't sure what I was going to do, but as I think and pray about it, I am going to do it. The Path of Loneliness by Elisabeth Elliot. I'm going to continue. I'm just looking at each chapter if we're going to do that next. So I'm, going to do the next chapter, chapter 6, The Gift of Widowhood. The way I see it is this, because when I first heard Elisabeth Elliot years ago talk about this, I would go, what? A gift of widowhood? And it was a whole different way to think of it. And I want to share that with you because being single can be a gift. I read another book years ago, and it was called The Gift of Singleness, and it was by Tony Evans, and it was sort of on the same line of just, how are you approaching this? How do you look at this? Do I resent it? Do I refuse it? And no, I don't want to do that. And so let me read this, and she'll explain a little bit too. All right, so at this point, she'll go through it. Let me just stop talking and read it. For 4 more years after the evening at Mount Tabor, singleness was the gift God was giving me. That's after she talked with Jim Elliot, who she was deeply smitten with. And he felt like he needed to stay single as a missionary. And so she's having to accept that. Like all of his gifts, it was appropriate to the job he had assigned, and I tried to accept it gladly. So the point of this is God hadn't allowed her to get married yet. She was working hard to accept it because it was from God. That only makes your life a little bit harder. And you can ask for grace from the Lord for help to accept it, Okay. On October 8th, 1953, there was a new assignment and a new gift. And what was that? I was about to become Mrs. P. James Elliot. What an assignment. So then, several years later, the Lord did allow her to marry. Then, continued, her story is, this was the condition and context of the will of God for me now, and for the rest of my life, I thought. Till death do us part sounded like a long time. These guys are only in their 20s. It wasn't so long. 27 months later, there was another assignment. Life had to go on. So that's a good phrase for me. Life had to go on. Life has to go on. And you'll see what we're talking about. We finally knew the men were dead, all 5 of them. These are missionary men that were killed by the Inca Indians. I was not a wife anymore. I was a widow. Another assignment, another gift. Don't imagine for a moment that that was the thought that occurred to me the instant the word came. Oh, Lord, was probably all I could think, stunned as we all were. One step at a time over the years, as I sought to plumb the mystery of suffering, which cannot be plumbed, I began to see that there is a sense in which everything is a gift, even my widowhood. There would be no widowhood if there was no death. Because Adam and Eve took the word... Okay, let me get this out of the shadow. I'm sorry. I'm all crunched with Esther. Because Adam and Eve took the word of the serpent, you will not die, as more trustworthy than the word of God, you will surely die, they ate the forbidden fruit. The amazing part is God still loves us. Let's see. And then down here, for the Lord of hosts is absolutely sovereign. He holds power over the universe. He holds authority over my life. Not because he usurps the rights with which he endowed me in creation, but because I had specifically asked him to be the Lord of my life. This is Elisabeth talking. I had prayed as earnestly as a child and a teenager and a woman can pray. Thy will be done. And actually, that's what I've done for years. And I think it's a smart thing to do. And with the Lord's help, he helps us to walk forward in this. He had given me a gift, widowhood. How can I say such a thing? I have come to understand even suffering through the transforming power of the cross as a gift, for in this broken world, in our sorrow, he gives us himself. In our loneliness, he comes to meet us, as in George Matheson's he came as the love that would never let him go. That hymn that George wrote when he was rejected, that was a few chapters back. Oh, love that will not let me go. It's a wonderful, wonderful hymn. In his death, Jesus Christ gave us life. The willingness of the Son of God to commit himself into the hands of criminals because the greatest gift became the greatest gift ever given, the bread of the world, in mercy, broken. Thus, the worst thing that ever happened became the best thing that ever happened. It can happen to us. It can happen with us. At the cross of Jesus, our crosses are changed into gifts. The Lord that calls us into being woos us to himself, makes us his bride, lays down his life for us, and daily crowns us with loving kindness and tender mercy, will not, no matter how it may appear in our loneliness, abandon us. I will never, the Greek has 5 different negatives here, never, 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 never leave you nor forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. So even though in the verse, when we look it up in our Bible, it says, I will never leave you nor forsake you, it actually in the Greek has 5 different negatives. So it would be like us reading in English, I will never, 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 never leave you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay. Yeah, 5. That's amazing. So I think that's very cool. Very amazing. God is for us. He is for us, ladies. And if you're a widow like I am, that is our assignment right now. Is it forever? I don't know, but I will trust him because he alone has the words of life. All right. Blessings to you, friends. Hang in there. The Lord is faithful.